Mark Diaz here for 2danimation11.com. In this lesson, we're going to take this torch and then use it to create an animation. First, I'm going to need you to go to this link so you can download it and then be able to follow up. This is from Freepik. Freepik, this is free and you can just download it and download all kinds of animations. Just so you know, you can click here and then where it says assets, when you go to, for example, vectors and then type animation, you will get a lot of types of animated characters that are animatable. For example, you could take this and that would be a happy dog, like wee, right? So you could take that, and that process that we're going to be following, you can apply it to any of those. Like this is the torch, for example. Okay, so let's go back and let's work with that torch. If you want to follow along, open the folder 73, and inside you will find a folder that says torch. Inside you will see the original file that you get when you download from Freepik, but also you're going to find the original. I'm going to open the original. This is what you get, the original. And then what we want to do is to get all of those together. Look, right now they are ordered like this, 1, 2, like it only says groups. Well, the goal that we want is to get it in this fashion. Like no background, I just hide the background. This background is hidden. And then each one is called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And then each one is exactly on that same place, right? So you can hide and show by just clicking on this little eye, and that's what I'm doing. So that's what we basically want. So how do we do that? Well, all I have to do is take each one of these. I just click with the selection tool, the black arrow, and then click and drag into here, right? Now I'm going to do that with all of them, and I'm going to do that in fast forward. And right now I just did that really loose. I was not trying to be precise. Right now this is not going to work because this torch is going to be kind of vibrating. Look, it's not perfectly in position. So how do I get this torch, which now I'm going to double click and call it 1, and then the next one is going to be called number 2, right? So I need to put them in the correct place. But before I do that, let me just finish renaming them 3, 4, 5, and then 6 and 7, and then we're done, right? Now this thing that you see in here when I press this, it means that I press num7, num0, and then num7. So don't worry about when I'm typing stuff. Okay, so right now this is how this is. I'm going to hide the background, and you can see that when I hide the background, there's this glow that is happening, but that glow doesn't work when this is activated, when there's no background. So what I'm going to do is select the direct selection tool, the white arrow, and then select this and then delete it, right? Delete it, delete, 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 delete. And then this one, delete once, delete it again. I needed to press delete 2 times. And then I'm going to go to the next one and clean it up, right? Again, just select it, delete, delete, select it, delete, delete, select one, delete, delete. I'm going to do that for the rest of them in fast forward. There you go. And now I have a clean torch. Now, the problem is that right now they are not properly placed because look, this should not be happening. This is bad. And you can see that if I go to the one that I fixed, you can see that this one, boop, nothing is moving in here. It's perfectly in place. So how do you do that? Well, I can tell you the way I do it is like this. I select the next one, this one, the torch number 2, and then I zoom in incredibly close to a corner. I zoom as much as I can, and then with the selection tool, the black arrow, I just bring it up, and look, I just need to put this corner in position like this, right? And that's it. Now if I zoom out and then show and hide, now it's in place, right? So I'm going to do that for all the other ones. Each one of those are going to be positioned compared with the first layer, with the first torch. So now I'm going to take the third one, this one, and then select it. And now I want to make sure that this is on top, right? And then I'm going to, again, do a close-up to a corner like this, zoom as much as possible, and then put that corner in place like this, right? And now I'm going to do a little test. Let's see. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, very good. And now I'm going to continue in fast forward for the rest of them. Very good. Now there's a problem. This document right now is way too long. Look at this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the artboard tool right here. I'm going to click there, artboard, and then click and drag and make it small, just covering the fire. Let me activate all the layers just to make sure that no fire is going to be out of screen, like this. And now we have everything ready to start exporting to create a sequence, right? Now all of this is done, right? I have that, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one, and every single one I'm going to be adding them on top of each other just to make sure that only the fire is changing, but the bottom, like the torch itself, it's working perfectly. Okay, now we are ready. All I do to create an APNG is I'm going to use an APNG assembler, but first I need to save this. I'm going to save each one, like this is number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all I do is I'm going to export this. I go to File and then Export and then Export As, but I like to use Save for Web. Even though it's legacy, I like this one because this one allows to change the size of this. Instead of having the height very small, I'm going to increase the height to be 800 pixels. All right. So with that, I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to save it right there in Torch. But I'm going to go back one folder and then create sequence Torch. Then export each one right there. So it's going to be Torch 01. And then export the second one like this, Control Shift S, height is 800, enter, and then Torch 02. And so on. I'm going to export them in fast forward. And there it is. Now I have a sequence. What can I do with that sequence? Look, if I go back to this, I have the torch sequence, right? And that's it. Now, in the next lesson, we're going to pick all these PNG sequence and create an APNG. Okay? See you in the next lesson.